A continuous random variable big X has PDF. PDF stands for probability density function f of x equal to kx squared, where k is a constant and for 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 4. This is the defined range of values for the PDF. Question A, find the value of the constant k. We take solution. Question A. For us to answer this question, we are going to make use of the fact that for a continuous random variable, the integral for all x, that means for the defined range of values for the PDF, which is f of x dx, this will be equal to 1. This simply means if you take the integral for all x, or all x is from 0 to 4, of our PDF, which is k x squared dx, this must be equal to 1. Then k is a constant, sending out k and integrating x squared dx, this gives us k. We add 1 to the power of x, 2 plus 1 gives 3, then we divide by the power, the new power, which is 3, so this will give us k over 3 times x to the power 3 from 0 to 4, and this will be equal to 1. Then inserting the limits of integration, this will give us k on 3, brackets open, we insert the upper limit, which is 4 cube, minus the lower limit, which is 0 cube, and all this will be equal to 1. Then this will give us k on 3 into 4 cube, that means 4 times 4 times 4, which gives us 64, minus 0 cube, which is 0, this will be equal to 1. 64 minus 0 in bracket simply remains 64. 64 times k on 3, this will give us 64k all over 3 is equal to 1. We are to solve for k, then if we multiply both sides by 3, this will give us 64k to be equal to 1 times 3, which is 3. Next step, dividing both sides by 64, k will simply be equal to 3 on 64. We underline the value of k. Now we can write down our PDF. PDF will simply be f of x equal to, we replace k with 3 on 64, we multiply this by x squared, which is defined for 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 4. Now we go now to the next part of the question, question B. We get to find the probability of 1 less than or equal to big X less than or equal to 3. This will simply be equal to, we integrate the PDF from 1 to 3. It means we have to integrate 3 on 64 x squared from 1 to 3. 3 on 64 is a constant, so we send it out. Then we keep in x squared, we integrate this with respect to x. This will simply be equal to 3 on 64 times the integral of x squared. We are simply going to add 1 to this power, it gives us x cubed. Then we divide by the new power, which is 3. The limits are from 1 to 3. Simplifying this, you see that this 3 at the numerator will strike off this 3 at the denominator. This will simply be equal to 1 on 64 times x cubed from 1 to 3. Next step, we have to insert the upper and lower limits, then we simplify. This will simply be equal to 1 on 64. We open our bracket, we insert the upper limit first, 3 cube, minus, we insert the lower limit, 1 cube. This will simply be equal to 1 on 64 into 3 cube, that means 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27, minus 1 cube, 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1. This will simply be equal to 1 on 64 times 27 minus 1 simply gives us 26, which we can express this as 26 all over 1. You will see that we can simplify the numerator and the denominator of these two fractions. If we divide 26 by 2 and 64 by 2, 2 will go into 26 13 times. 13 times 1, it remains 13 all over 2 will go into 64 32 times. 32 times 1 remains 32. Therefore, the probability of 1 less than or equal to big X less than or equal to 3 is simply equal to 13 all over 32 as a fraction. We underline the answer.